So last day we have discussed about databases, and so we have two types of databases. One is non-relational DBMS, another one is relational DBMS. We have seen how can we store value into non-relational database and the example for that, right? And then we have seen RDBMS. So mostly we'll focus on this RDBMS part. Okay, inside RDBMS we have seen which operation we can perform. So we can perform these operations. So in our RDBMS we are storing data in which format? Tabular format. Got it? So for RDBMS we have Oracle SQL, SQL Developer, SQL Server, and MySQL database. So in this session we will use that MySQL database. Yesterday I have shared that link with you also, and that MySQL file. Hope you have all have installed that MySQL in your system. Alright, let's start with that. Let me open my SQL here. Okay. So if you have installed MySQL Workbench in your system, you will get this connection. You will get one by default connection with this root and this localhost one, and the port number is 3306. Yeah. All right. So I have also installed in my system. My MySQL Workbench is already there. I have created two connections for that. You can create multiple connection in this same MySQL Workbench. If you want to create another connection, just click to this plus icon. You have to give your host name. This is your local. So for local, the host name is 127.0.1. Instead of this, you can write localhost as well. Then you have to provide root, and then after that, once you click to this test connection, you have to give some, like here involved, you have to add some password for that, right? So if so every time if you are opening this uh, instance, you have to give password, and then if you have stored that password in that vault, you don't have to give that password. So I already saved my password in this instance for this HB student instance, right? So just click to this, then you will get all the detail here. Let me close all. All right, so here what is the first process? So yesterday we have seen, if we want to like use some query, what is the first approach? First we have to create database. So first we'll create database inside this MySQL workbench. Same in Java. What is the first process? If we are using this Eclipse IDE, the first process is we have to create project. We have to create one Java project. Then inside that Java project, we will create our class. The same way in database. If we are using this MySQL IDE, right? So yesterday we have seen this example also. So if we want to create any class in Java, first we'll do what? First we'll create one project, Java project in this Eclipse IDE. Then we'll create some package. Inside that package, we will create all the class where we'll write our program. The same way, when we are using this MySQL workbench. So MySQL workbench also is one IDE to write any SQL query. So first, what we need to do? First, we need to create database. After creating database, we'll create table inside that, right? So what is database? Collections of data. So after creating that database, we can create multiple table inside single database. The same way, like in this Java training project, we can create multiple classes. The same way, when you are creating any database in MySQL Workbench or anywhere, you can create multiple table inside that database. Okay, so you can create multiple table inside that. So first we'll create database here, right? So to create database, let me open this paint one. So for every operation, we'll write query and we'll add that query in this note as well. So first process is to create database. All right. So first process, what we'll do, so we have to create database base. What is the query to create this, to create any database, right? So we have, what is the command for SQL command for that? create, create database. So create is one keyword, database is one keyword, and after that, so in Java, if you want to give, if you want to comment any line, we are using what? We are using this double slash. If you want to, let me add someone. If you want to comment any line in MySQL workbench, so we'll use this double hyphen. So if you write double hyphen before any statement, it means they will comment that line, right? So for comment purpose, we'll use this double slash. Okay, so this create is one keyword. After create, we have database. Database also is one keyword, and then we have to provide database name. Which database name we want to give? So create database, and we can give any name. All right, so we can give any name. So November, no, Jan underscore SQL, right? So I have written this query for creating any database. So create is one keyword, then we have to use this database keyword, and then database name. Which database name you want? Like we have to give the database name. It's simple. So create database and database name. All right. I've just selected these line here. So here we have two button. One is this one, another one is this one. So in this second button, we have one I symbol, right? So this is your this is your empty SQL file. So if you click to this one, they will do what? They will execute all the query whatever present in this text box. All right. And for example, I have written here multiple query. Create database ABCD, right? So I have written here to create database query. So if I'll click to this first yellow button, first play button, they will do what? They will execute all the query whatever present in this text box. All right. If you want to use this second one, what is the use of this second one? So I have just clicked to this line number 3 after Jan underscore SQL. All right. If I'll click to this second run button, they will do what? They will execute only this line number 3 query, right? If you see, I have clicked to this create database Jan underscore SQL. I have clicked to this second play button. Below in output, in this console, if you see here, they have written create database SQL. We got that green signal. It means our query executed successfully. We got this message, one row affected 0.015 seconds. Then we have created our database with Jan underscore SQL, right? Let me refresh. So here we have one refresh button. Let me increase the size of this bit. Setting. SQL editor, where we have that query editor. Where can we have font? SQL editor 16. It's increased or not? Don't know. Font and color. How to increase this? Control Shift. View home panel. Edit. How to increase the size of this editor? We'll do it later. See, we have executed this create database query, right? After that, I have clicked to this refresh button. Okay. If you see here, this Jan underscore SQL, this one, I've just clicked to that database. So that database created here, right? We got the success message, this green tick, it means our query is correct. If there is any issue with our query, they will give that error here as well, right? So I've just removed this E from that database, right? Now I have clicked to this execute button. See, we got error. So they will give error code and they will give you have an error in your SQL syntax. Check the manual that corresponding or MySQL, right? So if we'll write any wrong statement in this text editor, they will give that error. Same in Java. When we are writing any program, if we'll do any mistake, like if I'll remove this semicolon from in this program, right? If I'll run this, click to run Java, they will give that error, proper error, right? The same way, when you are executing this SQL command, right, you will get proper error for that. If your if your SQL query is not correct, they will not give that success message over there, and they will, so it will not affect to your database. If your query is correct, then that modification and that changing you are doing, it will got affected to that database, right? So here we have created one database with Jan underscore SQL. After creating this database, what we have to do, we have to make this database as a default one. Default means here we have multiple database. If we are executing any query over in this text editor, it will reflect to which database. So for that purpose, we need to make sure whether the database is default or not. So for if you want to make this Jan underscore SQL database to default database, what you have to do, you can simply right click to this Jan underscore SQL and you can select this set as default schema. So for this whole MySQL, if you choose this set as default schema, so whatever query you will write inside this text editor, they will affect to this Jan underscore SQL. Right now, this flight underscore MGMT is the default one. If you want to make this Jan underscore SQL default, so you can right click to this and just select this set as default schema. And the second option is just double click to this Jan underscore SQL. So I've just double click to this one. See, we got this bold, like in this Jan underscore SQL is now in black, right? It means this Jan underscore SQL is default schema. Got it? So this is the query for creating any database. Let me copy this one. I will paste it here, right? So we have completed our first process. We have created databases. We have created one database. Now what is the second approach? Now we need to create table. Database is what? Collections of data. And in our DBMS, how we are storing data? In tabular format. So this database is what? Collections of table. So inside this database, whatever database we have created here, this one is the collections of table. So inside one database, we can create multiple table. Got it? So now after creating this database, now we will do what? Now we will create some table inside that. So how to create table? Now we'll see that query as well. Got it? Like how can we create data. So how can we create table? Okay. So for creating any table, we'll use create statement. Create. So for creating database, we have create database query. For creating table, we have create table. So we'll use this create keyword because we are trying to create something, right? So we'll use this create one. By this keyword, it is specifying we are using this for some creation purpose. So create table, then we need to give some table name. So I am giving this just name as a student. Got it? So create table a student. So I have given table name as a student. After that, we need to provide inside this table, inside this student table, how many column you want, right? Yesterday we have seen this example. If we want to store any value, if we want to store any value in database in our DBMS, first we need to create database, then we need to create table, and table is a collection of columns. So inside one column, inside one table we can create multiple column. All right. So yesterday we have seen, like, we have created name, email, mobile, college, and age table. Sorry, age column. So we'll create that same in our side. All right. So same in Java. What we are doing earlier, if we want to create, so if we want to declare something, right? First we'll do what? We'll declare some variable, right? We'll create some variable and we'll initialize we'll initialize that variable with some value. So we have I'm giving just Java program example, right? So we have to give their data type, we have to give some variable name, and whatever value we want to store inside that variable, we have to initialize some value, right? So this is the data type of that variable, this is the variable name, this is the value. The same way, when you are creating table and inside that table you want to add some column, so what we have to do, we have to give data type name, and we need to give variable name as well. Got it? So we need to give these two things, and this one is optional, like if you can give size. So if you are creating any variable in Java, there is some limit, like there is some limit for int, there is some limit for long, right? So you can store only value up to that. So the same way, if you want to give some size to this data type, the whatever you are creating here, so after giving your data type name, for example you are giving some int, so after this int you can add like 30. So if you are written 30 here, it means you can add value up to 30 character, up to 30, right? If you give here 5, it means up to 5 number you can add value inside this variable. Okay, so I'm creating here like we'll start with name. What is the so if you want so just assume so you are writing some Java program and you want to store some name. So name is which type of value? Name is string type of value, right? Because this name contains multiple characters. So if you want to store multiple characters, you will go for string. So when we will come to this MySQL part, if you want to store any name in this table, a student table, so we have to give which data type? Var_char. We'll use this var_char. So for string purpose, we will use this var_char. After that, you can give, like I have given here 50. It means we can store value up to this 50 character. So this is our first column. After name, what we have? Name we have email. Same way, we'll write email and their data type. So we'll use same string ones. For string, we have this var_char. Same, I'll give this 50. All right. After email, we have mobile, college, and age. So mobile, varchar 10 mobile college and age. College varchar 20 and int age 10 bracket and semicolon. There is some syntax mistake in this. So create table student name varchar. Okay, it is correct. Int age. What is the num? There is some issue with this. Table student name after we have comma, mail we have comma, mobile varchar we have comma, and college varchar we have 20, and this wait. We have to give variable name first, then we'll write the data type. Yeah, now it is correct. Age and then int. So we are creating this student table. All right. So create is one keyword, table is one keyword. After that we have to provide table name, then we need to give column name and their data type. The same way when we are writing any program in Java, we have, if we are creating any variable, it means we have to give some data type to that variable and the variable name. We have given this name like student name, name, wait, and student name, student email, student mobile. Oh, so remove this. So this is our name, this is our email. So name data type is varchar. I have given some length for this 50. This is optional. If will not give, it will take default one. So it will, so default size is 255. So you can, so if you haven't adding that size of this data, so for this name, right? So they will default, they will take the default one 255. That's why I have added here size 50. You can add 20 as well, no problem. So this size is not mandatory here. So let me remove this for now. Later we'll add it.
Sir, voice is not clear.
My voice is not clear. Wait. Let me remove.